I am going to do a quick overview of Critadel. First off, there's a few things I should say. The first is that I'm sorry in advance about the audio balance. This game's audio balancing is really weird. If I crank it up any more than what it's at right now, then you won't be able to hear me. The other thing is, do not buy this on Switch right now. At the time of recording, it is the 18th. The game came out a couple days ago. The problem is that the Switch version, it crashes constantly, and it crashes pretty much towards the end of your run. Well, a little bit past the halfway point, almost all the time. It reminds me a lot of the Tales of Vesperia port, where, I don't know if you guys played that on Switch when it came out, but the game would crash randomly, and, that game is not really designed to let you recover from a crash. This game is very much the same way. Pretty much all of your progression is tied to dying / ending the run, and when the game crashes, there is no save or suspend feature. So when it crashes, you essentially have wasted your time. So as awesome as this game is, I'm going to be talking this game up a lot. I did not get a review key for this. I bought this twice out of my own pocket thanks to donations. Do not get it on Switch right now. They did say that they're aware of the bug. How it didn't get caught in QA is beyond me, because it happens to everybody. It happened to me as well. I don't know how that happened, but they did say that it's going to be a few weeks to fix it because of actually creating the patch, fixing the problem, and then also getting it through Nintendo certification, which takes a long time. So if you see this and you look on the eShop and you see it, do not buy it right now. The only real use the Switch version has right now is, I guess you could grind up the characters, which I'll be getting into once I get into the game. But other than that, save your money and buy it on PC, or just wait a few weeks for a patch. Alright, let's get into it. Just needed to get that out there before I get people commenting, hey, this game doesn't work. There's your warning. Okay, so first off, this lady here, you see these cores here? These are basically item pool unlockers, meaning that when you get to specific parts in the tower, you will get these cores and they will unlock more things in the item pool. So this game has a leveling system. Basically, when you die or complete runs, you will get experience depending on how you did. Each combat room gives you experience. You'll also get bonuses for things like doing no damage runs and things like that. So as you can see, I have this character. This is the default character. I have her almost maxed out. She's got a couple other things in here. As you rank up, you will get access to these. I don't believe the perk or the levels actually make you do more damage. It's mostly just you have more options here. So right now I have her set up with more health, more ammo before you have to reload, and then weapon collector. This increases damage according to how many weapons you have. You're going to want to have a full collection of weapons, which is 9, just for the synergy system, which I'll get into later. And then increasing attack speed when you perform a perfect dodge. Now there's also other characters in this game as well. Like this character has completely different abilities. This character is a shotgun-based character, so she has things like increase the shotgun range. Restore your shield when you're perfect guard is pretty busted in this game because it will prevent you from taking a lot of damage. A couple other things in here as well. Alright, so we're going to play with the maxed out character just so that you guys can see a little bit more of the gameplay loop. Okay, so over here, this is your some of your persistent elements. Over in the upper left-hand corner, you see the little core thing. These allow you to buy things before your run. Now, they become useless pretty early on, because really the only other thing you can use them on is unlocking shortcuts to start at different parts of the tower. However, from my experience, it generally is better to start from the first floor unless you get really good starting items where your character is maxed out. Otherwise, you're not going to get far. So this time, I can get... go ahead and grab this. Alright, Nature Bullet's a good start. That gun is not. not a good start. You can get S-rank weapons from there. The game said no this time. Okay, so if you play this game on controller, the A button is jump. You have a dodge, and the lower left-hand corner, you have a stamina bar. You can increase that later on. There's also perks that reduce how much the roll does, how much the roll takes. And you can also jump cancel the roll as well. But there is a pretty long cooldown, so generally you might want to dodge and roll, or air dodge, and then jump again, and that will give you a lot of maneuverability. See there, I did a no damage clear, so I got an extra 500 experience. None of these are really that great. I could take one of these, but I guess at this point of the run it doesn't really matter. I'll take the crit chance. So up here is where you upgrade your weapon. So right now, there's nothing really to upgrade. So here in the shop, you're going to want to look for things that give you synergy. If you click here, you'll see this is the synergy. Depending on how many items or weapons you have in this category, you will get specific buffs. So energy is really good because if you can get 5 energy weapons, you're doing an extra 20% damage. Likewise, if you have nature, you're going to get a lot of health back. You're basically going to get lifesteal, which will really help in the second half of the run, where the enemies get a lot more dangerous and plentiful. So right now, this run is not going to finish, obviously, because this is just kind of me showing how the game works. You're going to want to grab this for the energy bonus. So generally you want to build around one weapon. You want to try to find a legendary or at least an A-class weapon as fast as possible, depending on how far you are in the game. And then from there you want to build around it. So you want to build around the synergy. Like this right here will give me a nature bonus. So whether I use these weapons or not is irrelevant. I mean, at this point in the game you will use them, but generally you're going to want to try to find a good weapon to build around as fast as possible. So weapons have durability in this, but generally it's a non-issue because you're going to be wanting to use the synergy system to its full capacity. If you're not using the synergy system, you're actually doing yourself a disservice because you get a lot of bonuses from it. Okay, so this is actually a pretty crappy start, but we're gonna keep going. One thing that's nice about this game is it's very easy for a run to turn around. It kind of has a little bit in common with older roguelikes like Binding of Isaac, where your run can really turn around pretty fast. Even if you get a bunch of junk at the beginning, you're always only a couple combat rooms or one shop away from really getting something that will change your run. I don't want to bother with those. Healing room. Okay, so this character is actually the true last boss. You need to fill this up by doing his objectives, and you unlock him as a boss later on. So, for instance, this time, he wants crystals collected, which is basically just collecting money. So you will get the objective only if... You'll get the objective only if you, you fulfill it by the time you see him again, which will be usually in a couple levels. This is a pretty crappy build. Two energy weapons is not bad, but you need 3 for the flat bonus. Energy is one of the synergies you really want to focus on because it will give you lifesteal. Generally, if you can find an S-rank weapon, you're in pretty good space, you're in pretty good shape, but you are still going to get hit by things. It's nice to have a little bit more of a security buffer. So you can actually lock on to the enemies, which means that you can actually entirely focus on dodging. Pretty bad fight, but we'll take it. Alright, another nature bullet is not bad. So artifacts are basically your items. They're passive. Nothing really great so far. Kinda hoping this run wipes so I can show you guys the experience mechanic. Runs are actually pretty short, provided that you actually use the synergy system and you make good decisions. Essentially, you're going to be using one legendary weapon and just building around it. Trying to max as much of the synergies as you can. Unfortunately, options in this are really bad. There's not even really much of a reason to play the PC port over the Switch version, at least when they fix it. You don't get access to like arbitrary frame rates or anything like that. It's pretty much just the game doesn't lag and it doesn't crash. A little bit of a misstep to not have this run at like 144 Hz because pixel art games definitely benefit from a higher frame rate. Music is really nice, catchy. Definitely enjoy it. Boy, this run is terrible, isn't it? So if you kill those robots that fly around with a timer, they will give you a passive item. So if you want to maximize your build, you want to try to get them as fast as possible. Let's just go ahead and end this run. It's not really giving me anything interesting, and I don't want to commentate an entire 30-minute run for an overview. Kind of just trying to show the mechanics. Let's just end it. I don't feel like continuing that run. As you can see, I'm pretty close to the max, so I got barely any experience for that, but generally gonna have to go through the entire game, at least get to the level 10 boss. There is another boss after that, but I don't have him unlocked. You're generally going to want to get to the level 10 boss to maximize your experience, because the perks actually are game-changing. The characters themselves don't really play any differently, but the perks are pretty game-changing. Alright, well, that's basically Critadel. If you want to see the items... Don't know if I can show that here. Oh yeah, I can. So I think this is the upgraded gun, the base gun that you get for beating the true last boss, but I have not done that yet. I don't know what else it could be. I've unlocked everything. There's a couple weapons I haven't unlocked. I have no idea how you get those. Well, that's basically it. That's Critadel in a nutshell. It's a pretty simple game, but there definitely is a lot of strategy to how you build your character and stuff, and I think that's what makes this game fun. Also, the fact that your persistent element currency is useful the entire time. I'd say the only criticism I have for these NPCs is that I don't understand what exactly determines when you can reset your seed. I've tried beating bosses, I've tried just dying, I've tried going back, and then every time I go back here, it gives me the exact same items, which, if you're a speedrunner, or you're trying to do challenge runs, or you just want to do stuff for the channel, I definitely would recommend asking or trying to figure out what determines when you can reset a seed, because sometimes you get a bunch of junk from here, and it can be very demoralizing to not really have anything to go for, but at the same time, you generally get some pretty decent stuff to choose from here anyway. Like, look at this. This is an S-rank artifact, so that's going to be a pretty big game changer for the beginning of a run. Thanks for watching, and like I said, do not buy this on Switch. I don't even want to do a Switch port review for this right now, just because the game is fine. It is laggy in some parts. I'm sure they will fix that later too, but right now the main problem is that it crashes a lot, so you'll definitely want to hold off on buying it for now. I do have the Switch version as well, thanks to donations, so I will do a Switch port review for that when the patch is released. But for now, it's essentially a waste of money. Thanks for watching.